20 years of glorious partnership between Ralph Beckett here at Kimpton Down Stables and Saracen. A director of thoroughbred nutrition at Saracen is Polly Bonnor, and perhaps the most important of all of us here, well, undoubtedly the most important of all of us here, is Gary Plasted, who is the head man here at Kimpton Down, and alongside a horse who could yet be one of the most important ones in the stable, Task Force, who's beautifully bred and has got a huge amount of promise. I'll start with you, Gary. Is this going to be the poster boy for 2024, do you think?
Well, I hope so. He's taken Westover's box, so he's got to do something.
And for you and everybody here, are things like this superstitions that matter? Is there a horse that has the right to the number one box?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just the way the yard's set out. All the colts end up this end anyway, so they kind of end up in this end of the yard. So it just works out that the better colts are up here. I don't think it's anything particular. I mean, Westover was in the end box, then we moved him into this box at one point because he was seeing too much out there. So no, I don't think it's superstitious at all.
Okay. How long have you been here?
Well, there's another story.
Originally it was 2002.
Yeah.
And then I left in 2016. And then I come back in 2021. And then I'm back since then.
You're probably due to go again pretty soon, isn't he?
Hopefully not.
I'd imagine. But the calibre of horse keeps increasing and increasing. Rafe, tell me about this horse for you and your hopes for him, where you realistically believe he could end up.
Well, he only ran over 6 last year by Frank Allow's special duty. You'd think he'd get at least a mile. I thought it was a pretty good effort at Ripon against the curve when he was second when he won the listed race there, and then obviously he ran a fine race in the Middle Park to be second to Van Dijk. We'll start him in the Greenham or the Craven, and then work away to the Guineas. I hope he'll show up in the Guineas. And I think he's changed significantly physically. He was quite a wiry 2-year-old. I think he's grown over the winter. We expected him to do that and filled out as well. And we're pretty optimistic about him.
It's fine. He's only got to beat City of Troy and Rosalian.
I know.
It's no big deal. Yes. And Henry Longfellow and whoever else. But he's by Frankel, the best horse any of us have ever seen, out of a dual classic winner over a mile. So he's the horse with the pedigree and the credentials to be able to do it on breeding at any rate. Polly, for you as someone who's been involved in Rafe's stable from a nutritional point of view for 20 years, for 2 decades, how much satisfaction does it give you and your team now to see this stable full of horses like this?
Oh, it's massive. I can't even properly explain it. And the other thing that we've talked about is the mutual owner breeders that we have. So it's great when you've known the mare, the foal, the yearling, and then they end up here and do what they do and become successful, and you've known them through their lives. I think that does give it an extra bit of interest, for sure.
And you were telling me that we were looking at a horse a little earlier on by Camelot. You'd had involvement personally with Camelot when he was a yearling before he went into training.
Yep, that's how old I am.
Well, it's not that long ago, to be fair, is it? It's not that long ago.
No, but it's funny when you do go through. I mean, going to Coolmore on Friday and seeing Wootton Bassett, having helped get him ready as a yearling and known him back then, it is interesting when you watch those traits, as Rafe has said. You know, when you've trained the mare who then you train their daughters or sons or whatever, and grandsons even, you know, when it goes on through, you do see those families, and it does make it more interesting.
For sure. And
you are more informed about the best way to handle that horse to get the best out of them, for sure.
So you deal with an awful lot of trainers, an awful lot of owner breeders as well. Do you get to learn as much about the habits and idiosyncrasies of the people that you're dealing with as much as the horses, and how they like to work and how they like to feed?
Yes, probably, and I've always said that the horses are the easy part. Yes, of course, and the longer you're around people and you appreciate the level of detail that they want, it's that bit easier then to give them more of that. Rafe appreciates the science, and that makes a big difference to how we can all talk and operate. And I suppose the level of trust that we are making sure that everything is super consistent so that he's then got the fuel for the horses to carry things on through. And having followed him around from Lambourne to Whitesbury to here, it's been interesting watching that development as well, to see, you know, the different gallops that you've worked with and how it all fits together. It does make a big difference for sure.
And so you have to sort of subtly alter your formula, perhaps, depending on what facilities you've got at your disposal.
Absolutely. You know, Lambourne was very different to Whitesbury.
Those grass gallops,
Yeah, and Whitesbury's very different to Kimpton. You know, we've had to manage it in different ways all the way along. You know, what we do now, our work regime now, bears little resemblance to the first 3 or 4 years we were here. You know, things have changed. There's a number of reasons for that. Our route to the gallop is different now because we didn't own a chunk of land between the yard and the gallop that we now do. And so you're able to train them in a slightly different way as well as a result of that, in a way that I wanted to, just wasn't able to for operational reasons.
Well, the operation is running smoothly at the moment, Gary, and now all this guy's got to do is to improve as much as we think he's going to. You happy with the way it's going so far?
Hope so, because we all need some new
Some new.
best overcoats.
But
Very
the other
good.
thing again is,
Very
as
good.
Rafe and his team can fine-tune things, we're trying to do the same with the feed. We're not just standing still.
No.
The race 13 that you first used 20 years ago obviously bears resemblance, but we've kept on improving because of all of the work that we've done with KER and Hallway. So there's been that progression to go with.
I know we haven't given Joe Pagan a mention yet, and I'll get into a lot of trouble if we don't.
It's true, yes, no, we're always going to mention Joe, but the difference that we've been able to make, and hopefully will continue to make, is because of all the good scientific research that he's putting in. And certainly what he's doing in Ocala now is a world first and a game changer for what we're understanding, because he's got horses under, you know,
Proper conditions, yeah.
race yard and work conditions, and they're being trained in that way, but he can do the research at the same time. No one else has ever done
Exactly. A whole working farm of in-training racehorses.
Yeah.
And the research that's being carried out on them from a nutritional basis is going into making sure horses like this task force can be competitive in classics this side of the pond in 2024.